Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. It's Diggs. I've been pretty inactive over the last month or two. There's lots of stuff going on in my life. However, I've had a chance now to play some Rome Total War 2, and this battle I found extremely interesting because it's all bloody trees. Yes, trees. Some people like having forest battles and things like that, like we used to in Shogun 2, which was always nice, and obviously in all the other Total War games as well. But in this one, it's, well, to have this many trees isn't really a map, it's just a map of trees with some hills and more trees and units. Anyhow, I am Rome, and my partner is, well, my opponent rather, is also Rome. And what I've done is I've decided to split most of my forces. The main body of my force, sort of the 5 units of Praetorians I have, plus the 2 units of auxiliary Syrian archers, my general, and my 2 units of Triarii are going to go straight through the middle. I have 2 units of Praetorian Cav that are going to go down my left flank, and that will essentially make up my extreme left. And the right will involve 1 unit of Praetorian Cav and 2 units of elephants, auxiliary African elephants. Now, elephants have become some sort of major part in Rome 2 Total War 2. It's essentially a meta now. You have to play with some sort of elephant unit, whether it be the Indian war elephant or whether it be the African war elephant, or even Rome you'd see playing as elephants all the time. But this game was particularly great, I thought, just simply because of the amount of forests. You know, he could have been anywhere, and the player I was playing was a player called Mushroom Man. It was a good game. It was very close. It could have gone either way a couple of times during the battle. But this is where we kind of had our standoff. None of us was really willing to commit past this line, if you will. It's apart from me, I kind of used my cavalry on either flank to commit to having an extreme left and extreme right, essentially use them as scouting forces. As soon as I were to see a unit, I'd scout just a tiny bit more forward, trying to get them to see where his main force is. As you can see, my right Praetorian Cav and my left too are now going. And they will eventually find one of his units over here, as I will also find one of his units over there as well. He essentially does the same thing. He looks to create a left and a right. However, his main body of his army stays on one side. And there you go, I've spotted his unit, his first couple of units. There's his Velites. He's got a couple of units of Velites there, but I've got to be careful of. And then I spot his other main army over here. So he's obviously split it up into 2 bits. He's got cavalry on one side, and I do spot the elephants as well. Now remember, this is you're getting my bird's eye, well, not my bird's eye view, you're getting my view. Here we just switch over to tactical map. This is what I can see at the moment. Velites, Cav, and I know he's got elephants because I've seen them. I know there's definitely one more unit of Velites here. Here is my main body of the army. You can tell I have an extreme left and an extreme right. That is an extreme right. My left is coming more into my main body. But here we can see loads of his units starting to pop up. All of his armoured legionnaires, his gladiators, spearmen, and of course his general. And various armoured legionaries are also coming up. So I can tell now, because of that scout, here is his main body of the army. That's right. Just over here, where I'm virtually quite exposed with my 2 elephant units and my only cavalry. Only cavalry on that side. But the rest of my army is still hidden. He is yet to find out where my main army is. He has seen my elephants because they move through the forest, and you can't really hide elephants in the forest. I think it's quite difficult. They're pretty large creatures. I also know where his cavalry and his mounted units are. He seems to have split his mounted from his dismounted, foot soldiers. Obviously I'm a little bit of a hill over here. I really should try and push these guys up. But they're in the forest, they're in cover. I'm honestly quite happy. He's yet to move his cav out. I know they're in there, so I'm keeping an eye on that on the minimap. Now, I'm not going to push him, I'm going to wait. I know that he sees my elephants because my elephants are not covered. You can tell because they don't have the little eye logo here. So I'm essentially, very, very dangerous tactic, using them as bait. And he's taken the bait. There you go, you can see his, more or less his full foot force there. Velites. So that's 3 units there. I think it's 2 units of gladiator spearmen. There is more behind But at this stage I'm feeling fairly confident. I mean, 2 units of Gladiator Spearmen and 3 units of Valites is not going to do a great deal of damage, not when my elephants get in there. I'm just waiting for him to commit a little bit more forward so I can use this cav as a, a bit of a shock and awe tactic. Then I notice 1 unit of cav popping out of the trees on this side of the map. Now, I have 2 units. This is where I just wanted to push forward. I wanted to probe him. I wanted to see exactly how much cav he's got, because he doesn't have an extensive force over here. So, at this moment, I'm thinking, well, this isn't obviously his full force. So, he's obviously got his other half of the army split, unless he's gone for a full split of cavalry. The rest of his army obviously would be cavalry. Now, I need to reinforce this right hand side. I don't want to lose my elephants. I'm using them as bait, I know, which is very, very bad, but I don't want to lose them. So I take 2 Praetorian units along with my cav. I wanted to stop the guys there because I wanted to make sure that I get some auxiliary Syrian archers involved, because their range is huge and they do great damage as well. But of course, in doing so, I know I'm leaving myself weak for his elephants, which are located somewhere around here. Where my other 2 cav are, but they're used as a scouting force, so I can pull those men back fairly quickly because they're fairly fast. They've got light armor. They're here. Look at the range. Look at the range. I know they're on a slight elevated section of ground, but look at the range. Now on those, they've taken down gladiators already. Poor guys ducking. No, you're at the wrong angle. Wrong angle. Look at that. I think they've just seen us now. And then this is where I know he has his main body, because he's got. This is why I turn my Praetorians around, because I know he's got 4 units of armoured legionnaires standing there. Actually, no, sorry. And he's got a unit of eagle cohorts as well. I charge my Praetorians in there just to keep them busy. I want them busy. I do not want them disturbing my auxiliary Syrian cohorts. There goes my Praetorian cav into his Velites. Yes, they did go into his Gladiator Spearmen, but they're being taken down. His Velites are going to rout fairly soon. And so his Gladiator Spearmen, my Praetorian Cavs will obviously rout. His Velites are going to rout as well. And my elephants haven't charged in yet. I'm waiting to use them, and essentially when there's a massive blob, now would be the right time actually before they all start to split. I should have done it moments ago. They should have charged them in, used trample. Anyway, here comes his armoured legionaries. They're coming in. My main body of the army, however, is going to stay here. Now, we've just missed a little bit over here, where he's just charged some of his Praetorian cav in here. But here comes my Praetorian cav. They're going to charge straight into the back of his. I don't think they knew that we were there. May have a slight inclination, but I highly doubt it. I do have a unit of Triarii in reserve, and one of his Praetorian cav is routing. And that's because I shoved my Triarii in quite well indeed. My general's going to start. I'm not going to use my general. I know that, I should have, but I think my general can stand there, give a little bit of encouragement with the eagle. Now, my Syrian archers are still pounding away at his troops, and they can charge all the way from back, and they're hitting his Praetorian cavalry, which is his, and they're still hitting them, taking away 11 units. They only just started firing at them. Now, here I see he has his general over here. This is when I notice I've got my elephants involved, and I'm taking his legionaries out completely. I'm going to use trample. Well, I've used it already, I think. And just stay here. Some men lingering over here that have run away. Fill the skies, exactly. Fill the skies. Now, I still have my units over here. I'm marching my units just away for the moment because I just want a bit of respite. But my main body of the force of my army is still here. I need to watch where these guys are going. That was a micromanagement mistake. Now he's going to charge his Praetorian cavalry back into the fight, and I knew this was a losing battle for me. I did not intend to win this. This was literally just to have enough time so I can take out all of his Velite units and any armoured legionaries that came into that fight. Yes, I did lose my elephants. The armoured legionaries are very, very good at taking out elephants. The armoured legionaries are. But I honestly thought that was a price well paid. However, for most of you isn't, that wouldn't be. But I still have the main body of my army here. Still have them. I know exactly where his units are. His cavalry's already made the charge through. His units are still going to be here. Now he's going to use his elephants. His force is pretty depleted. I'm going to change my auxiliary Syrian archers to now focus on his elephants. My Praetorian cav, if that is mine. which it is, it needs to move fairly quickly. No, actually, no, I think that's his. That's his. I do apologise. Anyway, I've changed to go to the elephants. The Syrian archers do a lot of damage. They've got a lot of range, so they're already taking out the elephants as we speak. Nevertheless, you now see my force moving forward. And I see now where his units are also positioned. Oh, they're mine, but seeing where his units are coming down, and I realise I do get caught out here. I get caught out quite badly. Focusing on this battle over here. So he's obviously completely changed his focus. I've taken down 3 elephants of his. And yeah, I get the kind of signal that, oh, in a minute, we're being attacked, and I will move those units eventually. Now, my main body of the armies now is going to come up in this gap. My Syrian archers are going to move up also. I wanted to keep them in reserve, only to keep them in the forest so they can kind of pick shots. Here you go, I finally noticed that and moved my cavalry out the way. Actually go and attack his cavalry, which was just standing there. I think he was trying to flank me, but he just completely forgot. His elephant's going to come straight through. So, I mean, technically speaking, I've lost my right flank, but this is where I keep my Syrian archers. They've had to pull back, only because they have no ammo left. But I've taken down 3 elephants. I'm pretty happy with that. Elephants are game winners in this. You will see my other auxiliary unit here of Syrian archers. They're going to go after his elephants. I realise I'm going to lose both of my Praetorian cav. I made a really silly mistake. But I know that with my 2 units of Triarii standing here in reserve, I can cover off this flank. And I think he will make the attack. I think he does make the attack. He makes it now. And this is where I get my Triarii in straight away. And I think they tell them not to charge through trees. His elephants again absolutely taken down. Yeah, you don't charge through trees because it slows down your cav speed. And I've got my second unit of Triarii in now to just hack away at his Praetorian cav, and they will do so with relative ease. His elephants are down, by the way, before they even touch my Praetorians lining up. So this is what I have now. I have a unit of auxiliary Syrian archers, another unit which has no ammo. I have a couple of units of Praetorians with 2 units of Triarii against his Praetorian cavalry, which are going down very, very quickly. And the armoured legionaries let go of their missiles. I now get one of my Praetorians in, who is helping out my Triarii on this side, to crash in and flank the other side of the Praetorians. Sorry, these armoured legionaries. He's also got Praetorians in there as well. My aim is literally just to hold this off as quickly as much as possible, so my Syrian archers have a chance to fire away and pop some shots off. I even get my general in because I absolutely know that he's going to go after my archers, and my archers are going to win this battle for me. My general does die. He dies now against these gladiators, as you would. We'll probably watch him die. It's one of those. Yeah, it's one of those that have died. Because I think it was then when I heard it, and I was like, oh, whoops. Yeah, they've routed. But yeah, it's just a massive clump at the moment. I'm happy to keep them as a clump, only because I have my archers in. And I'm more or less losing this battle. He comes and flanks me quite easily, but I move my other unit of Praetorians around, and that's essentially it. I mean, I don't... It was a very, very tricky battle, I think, for both sides. With the amount of forest on this map, it's so difficult to try and work out where your opponent is, and with Rome vs Rome you get so bloody confused. But nevertheless, I honestly think I got a little bit lucky on one side, the way how he split his army. I don't think he split his army very, very well. Having all cav on one side and having all infantry on the other. I think that was the wrong way to split it. I think I like my idea of having everything in one and then having an extreme right and a left so I could work out where he was. I think that was crucial. And I think letting my elephants go early, simply just crushing, I think, essentially, 2.5 of his Velite units was quite good, and also a lot of his gladiators as well. Losing 2 elephants and a Praetorian cav for that isn't too bad, because I think that took out quite a lot of his main force. The rest were armoured legionaries, which we dispensed with very, very quickly with my Praetorians and also with my auxiliary archers. But yeah, it's a very, very tricky battle in the forest. Well played to Mr. Mushroom Man. It was a good game. It was a good mirror. Rome mirrors always hardly fought, and yes, it was a very costly victory. I only fielded 1,200 men, he fielded 1,500, so I was 300 men short, which is roughly a unit or two. But I think I handled it quite well, really. I think I responded to his charges quite well, apart from that cav. That was disastrous. I could have done much better then, and even hid them in the forest. That would have been great. But with hindsight, you just get better and better and better. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the game. It was a little bit messy. Lots of things happening at different times with the various different flanks that we were having, and lots of different mini battles to win the game. But I'm pleased I got on top, because it was definitely a hard fought win. Couple of mistakes. I am a little bit rusty. But hopefully, we'll get into the swing of it, and we're much better off next time round. Thank you for watching.